The word failure alone makes most of us shrink. But here is a truth no one told us in school. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning. What if I told you that failure is not a sign of weakness but proof of courage? Every time you fail, you are standing in the same place where greatness once stood. Edison, Rowling, Jobs, they all failed and failed big. But instead of burying themselves under failure, they built their empires on top of it. Today I want to show you how you too can turn your failure into power. Why do you fear failure so much? Because since childhood, we were told success means perfection. If you scored less marks, you failed. If you did not get the job, you failed. If your idea did not work, you failed. And society stamped you as not good enough. But here is a question. Who decides what failure really is? What if failure is simply a feedback? What if failure is life whispering? You are on the right track, but you need to sharpen your tools. Think of failure as a mirror. It does not lie. It reflects your efforts honestly. But it is not a wall, it is a door. Let's look at the people we admire. Thomas Edison, he tried more than 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. When asked how he kept going, he said, I did not fail. I found 1,000 ways that did not work. J.K. Rowling, living on welfare, rejected by 12 publishers. If she had stopped after the 12th failure, Harry Potter would never exist. Steve Jobs, fired from the very company he started. Imagine the humiliations. But he did not collapse. He reinvented himself, built Pixar, and later returned to Apple to create the iPhone. Their stories teach us one thing: failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the path to success. And here is something personal. Your own small failures to comeback story, even if it is simple. Why? Because when you and I admit failure, we connect as humans, and connection builds power. Then the mindset shifts. So how do you turn failure into power? It begins with a mindset shift. Right now, you may think failure destroys you. But what if I said failure defines you? It shapes your character. When you fail, two voices speak in your head. One says, see, I told you, you are not good enough. The other says, try again. You have learned something new. The question is, which voice will you listen to? The truth is, the people who succeeded are not smarter. They are not luckier. They are simply the ones who choose the second voice. They see failure as a training, not as punishment. Do not hide it. Do not make excuses. Own your failure. When you accept it, it loses its power to shame you. For example, Michael Jordan openly said he missed over 9,000 shots in his career, but he owned it, and that is why he is called the greatest. You have to extract the lesson. Failure is like a teacher, strict, sometimes cruel, but always accurate. Ask yourself, what lesson is hidden here? If you do not learn the lessons, the failure repeats itself. For example, if a business collapses, the lesson might be not about money, but about planning, maybe about partnership, or about the timing. Failure points exactly to what you need. Reinvent yourself. Once you own it, once you extract the lesson, use it to reinvent yourself. Do not just repeat the same version of you. Become the upgraded versions. Reinvention is the difference between people who stay down and people who rise higher than before. Here is what I want you to do. Write down your last 3 failures. Be honest to yourself. For each, write the lesson you learned. Now ask, how can I use these lessons to reinvent myself tomorrow? This exercise may sound very simple, but it rewires your brain. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, you begin to see it as a raw material for growth. Listen, failure is not your enemy. Failure is not a scar. It is a seed. And when you water it with persistence, patience, and courage, it grows into success. So the next time you fail, do not bury yourself. Bury the doubt. Stand tall. Because failure is not the end. It is the power that transforms you. Let's talk real. No noise, no edit, you, me, and the story. And if this message spoke to you, share it with one person who feels stuck. And tell me in the comment, what failure are you really turn into power? Let's grow together. Thanks.